Alright, good morning, guys. I figured I'd make a video for multiple questions because I'm being bombarded with questions as far as a messenger asking how can you take precautionary measures against a multitude of things. The subject of the coronavirus, the subject of the 5G. I'm going to try to make this video fairly quick. I'm not going to get into deep details of the cause and effects, action and reactions. If you want to know deeper into those, look at my other videos. I break them down pretty deeply. Okay, let's start with the coronavirus, precautionary measures, how to boost immunity. Let's start with this, the obvious here. UV rays, vitamin D, the sun. It's essential. It's essential to our bodies. It's our body's way of, our skin is like a solar panel. It's constantly absorbing UV rays, which is ultimately electrons. Every little action and reaction within our body needs electrons to do their jobs. Okay, so that's a vital. That's an essential. Second is water. A clean, filtered water. That is essential. I mean, our body is 3/4 water. I mean, that should be basic common biology, common sense. Live fruits and vegetables goes a long ways. If our bodies don't have the minerals to rebuild cells, we go into a state of deficiency, which ultimately it would cause our body to go into this defense mode, start stealing minerals from our bones and our tendons and our hair and our skin, and it prevents us from being able to rebuild cells. Vitamin C. Okay, vitamin C, which what I use is lemon juice, because to acknowledge the way coronavirus works, this particular flu virus, because that's all the coronavirus is. I don't care how many times it mutates. I don't care how strong or all these fear factors the mainstream media is gassing people up. Even the government's doing it. Elite corporations are doing it. The CDC's doing it. It is merely a flu virus. That's it. Because that's the thing, is every virus, once it takes on a substance, it's just like our bodies being able to create antibodies. It takes in that organism, learns how to beat it, breaks it down, creates an antibody. That's how we grow immunity. Okay, bacteria is doing this, virus is doing this. Okay, because once it has a food source, it takes on the property of that food and mutates. So every single virus, I don't care if you're in a household and everybody is sick, they all got the same signs, same symptoms. That virus is going to be different within each individual because of the organisms it's taking on, the foods that they're eating, the acidic properties. Okay, my point with the lemon juice. Okay, if you can catch this virus while it's in the dormant states of the throat and the mouth and the nasal passage, because that's where it will multiply. Okay, if you can catch that virus while it's in this dormant state, simply gargling lemon juice for 20 seconds and swallowing it. Do that twice in a day. Spread it out, once in the evening, once in the morning, for 2 days. If you have that virus within you, in your throat and your mouth, the virus is dead. The virus cannot live in this hydrogen-rich state. The vitamin C. So basically, the hydrogen-rich properties of the lemon juice destroys the acidic property that the virus is hosting in. So you take away its food source, and then the vitamin C attacks the virus itself and kills it. This isn't creating immunity. This isn't creating antibodies. This is simply destroying the virus. Okay, now if this virus happens to multiply to the state where you're able to inhale it into your lungs and it starts that dormant hosted state within the lungs, something called heated vapor therapy. And it's as simply as taking a lemon, an orange, garlic, and sea salt. Peel the orange, peel the lemon, take the peels, put it in a pot of water. Take a clove of garlic, bust it, throw the garlic in the water. Take a good amount, 2-3 tablespoons of sea salt, put it in the water. Bring that water to a boil. Take a towel, put it over your head. Take your head and put it over the pot. Breathe in these heated vapors that have these nutritional properties within the water molecules of the vapors. Okay, when you inhale these heated vapors, heated nutritional vapors, it makes its ways into the lungs, and the same deal within the throat will attack this virus in the lungs. And you're not going to do this one time and kill off the virus. You're going to have to spread it out, every 5-6 hours, do another therapy for 5-10 minutes. This kills the virus in its spot. Okay. Now, if you want to know how to create antibodies against it to make your body immune to it, where it teaches the pancreas how to create antibodies for future reference of being exposed to this form of virus. Okay, even if it mutates, it still has got the same core. So these antibodies will address it. The way you make antibodies is by eating fruits and vegetables, because these fruits and vegetables will ferment through your digestive tract system. Okay, prebiotics and probiotics acts as a reserve army to your proteolytic enzymes, which is created by your pancreas. Okay, so eating fruits and vegetables, because that's the difference between individuals' bodies. Okay, it's been over 6 years since I've been sick. There's been countless times everybody in my family has been sick, and I don't really take the precautionary measures to over sanitize or anything of that extent. I'll intentionally expose myself to different strands of viruses and bacteria, germs, because I know my body's ability to create antibodies. I never get signs, I never get symptoms of these viruses that everyone else has. All these different things happening to their body trying to reject and flush out toxins and flush out and kill infectious organisms, while my body will create antibodies against it, address it, and get rid of it. Everyone else's goes into this defense mode where their body basically is trying to burn it up because they don't have the properties to create antibodies against the infectious organisms. That's when you show signs and symptoms. That's when you'll get sweats. That's when you'll get the coughs. That's when you get mucus built up in the throat. That's when you get mucus built up in the lungs. That is the body's defensive mechanism to protect itself from infectious organisms, is the compromising of the mucous membrane. Okay, so that's basically how to protect the body, take the precautionary measures in a nutshell. Now, on this 5G, this is happening all over the planet. I've gotten multiple messages from even people outside of the states. I had a lady message me yesterday, and I apologize, Claire, I didn't get to responding to you. Like I said, I've probably got in between 8 and 12 messages that I just haven't been able to respond to. And she was asking me, how do we protect ourselves? Okay, let me explain it like this. This is what I recommend people doing. It's a simple precautionary measure just to let you know kind of if that biohazardous frequency is coming into your house. And it's one of the oldest tricks as far as they used in the coal mines. the canary. Get you a bird feeder. If you know where one of these transmitters are, the new transmitters, put this bird feeder in between your house and that transmitter. Because what will happen when you know there's biohazardous frequencies coming into your home, it'll kill the bird. And when you see dead birds by your bird feeder, this is when you should shut off your cell phones, shut off your Wi-Fi routers, because those will be the devices that's calling for this transmission. This is what will be bringing the EMF into your house. That's one precautionary measure. There's multiple other ways. And the old tinfoil hat that gets thrown at conspiracy theorists, it's funny because that is literally a way, because aluminum foil is a conductor of these EMF frequencies. It absorbs the frequency. The frequency's not able to penetrate it. So as crazy it might sound, creating a tinfoil hat would stop these frequencies from being able to penetrate the brain. I recommend creating a safe room, even if it's a closet, and lining it with foil. Because for the most part, these new transmitters, the frequency, the way they send it on millimeter bandwidths, it can't penetrate thick walls. This is why they depend on putting these transmitters every 100 yards or so. This is why they depend on you having these receivers, because what they're doing, the signal comes from a satellite. Satellite goes to these towers, the ones that are higher up off the ground with multiple transmitters on it. Those transmitters is what sends a signal to your phone or to the individual post-top transmitters that you see on the ends of neighborhoods. They're receiving it from the towers receiving it from the satellite. There's nothing we can do about the satellites, obviously, unless you've got some kind of wireless connection and you've got control over the satellites, which I don't see many having the knowledge or experience to be able to hack something like that. But my point being, when it comes time, people's going to have to act. They're going to have to get rid of these towers. And it kills me because Trump knows there are 16,000 medical doctors, registered nurses, physicians, scientists, all doing their own independent studies, coming up with their own conclusions, their own results. They've seen the negative results against living organisms, the reactions humans were having, animals were having, even down to different species of animals, the birds, the bees, having these negative effects because their bodies rely on receiving natural frequencies from this planet, and between the sun and the planet for the seasons. It's their natural biochemistry within their own little organisms. It lets the bees know where their hives are at. It lets the birds know when to migrate, when the seasons are changing. All this is being thrown out of whack from these synthetic frequencies that are being blanketed over our land masses. People, do your own research, because as I tell people all the time, I don't want no one to have blind faith in nothing. Everyone should be asking questions. This is the purpose of us having a cognitive brain, able to critically think, able to ask questions. Just like I tell people, don't have blind faith in the government. Don't have blind faith in the medical establishments. Don't have blind faith in elite corporations and vaccines and pharmaceuticals. Ask fucking questions. Do your own digging. Seek your own answers. Because that's the only way, and that's one of the universal truths about the way things work. Ask and ye shall receive. That's karma. It's synchronicity. It's the golden rule. Do unto others as you want to be done upon. It's because that is what it is. It's what you put out, you shall receive. There's so many different interpretations, and all of the oldest cultures and all the oldest belief systems, there's some form of it. Whether it's the ideology of saying prayer, saying blesses, saying grace over food, Native Americans doing Indian chants, Eastern Indian doing mantras, even witches and warlocks casting curses, hexes. It's subliminally put in our different systems of structure, like why we call the way we communicate spelling, because we are casting spells. The universe is unbiased. It merely reflects what we put forth. And this is why the Word of God, and the Word was God. God is unbiased. It's a whole ideology. God isn't a physical being in the sky. It isn't a he. It isn't a she. It is mere reactions. We are given free will to act. We are co-creators. That's our greatest God-given ability, is the ability to manifest things from our psyche to reality. Because everything starts with an ideal, a thought in the head that people turn into reality. But I'm getting off subject. I'm making this a little longer than I wanted. But my point being is, we have the ability to counter these systems that are being engineered around us. And they're being engineered around us because we don't ask questions. We place blind faith. Don't have blind faith. Have faith, not blind faith. Faith saying, I'm letting go. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Okay? The wisdom to know the difference. Ask questions. Blind faith saying, I don't know why I'm letting go. Well, if you don't know why, you should probably start asking some questions and figure out what you're placing faith in. Because even the term within itself, gospel, that describes Jesus's accounts. Study the Gospel of Thomas, because he was on the point of manifestation. He was on the point of being conscious over oneself. Because the word gospel within itself, the word breakdown is 2 words. Go, spell. Go, meaning to move from one place to another. Spell, meaning to create or form. Go, spell, meaning to create or form from one place to another. That's manifestation. That's the universal truth. Be wise to your biology. Be wise to your influences, your impacts. Be wise to your ability to act. You're giving free will. And no matter what you put forth, you're going to have to reap. You're going to have to deal with. So why not be conscious over what you're putting forth? Therefore, you have more of an acting impact on the results. Remember the ideal behind the canary. Get you a bird feeder. When you see birds dead at your feeder, that means you've got some negative biohazardous frequencies coming into your home. And then that's when you should take countermeasures. You should start discussing these things with your neighbors, discussing these things on social media, because it's only when individuals acknowledge the facts, ask their own questions, that they can bring these facts to a table and discuss how you're going to create a solution. Because if you never acknowledge the true problem, the true equation, you can't find a solution. Knowledge is key, health is foundation, belief is success, and wisdom is power. This is being conscious over your mind and your body to manifesting the realities you want. Know your full potentials. Know your true capabilities. I wish everybody the best. Realize united we will stand, or divided we will fall. We got to start taking accountability over our influences, over our actions. Stop placing blind faith. I wish everybody the best. One love.